it's just an option. Okay, so that's it for this. And there are several things that I would like to share a little bit more. Whenever you write an essay, these are some criteria that I know and I think is very important for you to know so that you can focus like what you should write, what you should not write, and then you know what you should practice yourself. One more thing, so many things in my mind right now. When you practice writing, I really suggest you to practice it like real exam. Actually, I have a guideline. Sometimes I forget because there are so many things. When you practice writing, you're supposed to write in paper that in real exam you're going to write it. For example, right here we write in EBT writing exam. We are going to write in A4 paper. So in real exam you're going to write in A4 paper. So in your own time, in your practice, you're also supposed to write in A4 paper. Why? Because you will know how many words you are going to write, and you can see, you can estimate your own length of your handwriting. Maybe some of the people, 250 words can make 2 pages, some can make 3 pages, some can make only 1.5 pages. So it's up to you. But if you practice in A4 paper, you know your length. Okay, when I reach half page, I'm supposed to start the second point already, or things like that. Because in writing essay, in evaluation criteria, let's say if you are asked to write 250 to 300 words, if you write less than 250 or you write more than 300 words, your marks will be deducted definitely. So you're supposed to keep your length of your writing in the range that you are required to write. Or maybe I just write it down. You're supposed to write in A4 paper. Maybe different university require different requirement like this. Maybe you just are going to write in some other kinds of papers, I don't know. So you have to check yourself. You have to be very active when you are in university. You have to write A4 paper, and you have to time yourself. Let's say if you have about 1 hour in exam, you're supposed to, when you practice, you have to time yourself at least 45 minutes. You're supposed to finish the whole thing. You will spend the first 5 minutes for doing brainstorming and last 5 minutes to review everything. And that is our next point. You should review and or revise, actually the same thing, when you have finished everything. Let me write. When you practice, you have to review, and when you review, when you read it again, you are not going to read very fast. You're supposed to read a little bit slower. Why? Because you feel very comfortable with your language. If you read fast, you will not be able to detect any mistake that you have made. But if you read a little bit slower, be more concentrate, and you will be able to see, oh, I forgot to put an article, I forgot F here, I think it's better to write it this way, whatsoever. So do not forget this. And this is just a suggestion. If you can write in active voice, it's always better. We only write passive voice when it's really needed. Because why? Because active voice makes people understand straight away. You don't really have to think that much. But when you write passive voice, in passive voice form, it's going to be somehow a little bit slower for people to understand. But if you really focus on the object, okay, it's fine. but active voice is much better if you can. Just make things easy. Do not be too complicated if it's not necessary. Okay, I think I did not miss any point. I hope. Inshallah. Okay, and next thing that I would like to share that is about the criteria that I just told you just now. The first thing about, let me write here, the criteria that you should focus. Number 1, content. Number 2, organization. Number 3 is vocabulary. Number 4 is your language. And number 5 is math mechanics. Okay, we'll go one by one. For the content, the most important things are this: content, organization, and then language. Yeah. These 3 points are the most important things. Content, supposed to be logic. Whatever you are going to write, there's no right or no wrong in argumentative essays, especially, but as long as you have enough supporting ideas and you can convince the reader, that is the point. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong again. And organization, how to make it to be very nice or organized. So you just have to make it clear in every step. Whenever you say something, you just cannot stop there. You have to make sure that you really do explain what you have mentioned. So that is going to make your point very clear, and it will be smooth reading. And also for the template just now that I just told you, introduction, you will end your introductory paragraph by writing a thesis statement, and then you start at the next point. You have topic sentence, you start with a sequence word like firstly, secondly, thirdly, and then you will conclude that paragraph by writing a concluding sentence. This is all about organization, because you will let the reader knows where you are now. Where you just have finished your introduction, you are going to go to the first point, you have finished your first point, and you are going to go to the second point, that kind of thing. That will make your organization very good. And then jump to the language. The language is also important, but it doesn't matter whether you're going to write very complicated language. That is not a matter, but it's better and it's good if you can write a complex sentence. It's fine as long as you write it correctly. If you write it wrong, no point. So you just have to keep yourself in mind that writing the correct one. If you're not sure to go for the complex sentence, you just go for simple structure, but it's correct. That is much better. And for the vocabulary also, you're supposed to use the right choice of word. There are some several words or vocabularies that we may use in the wrong occasion or wrong place, wrong situation. So you have to make sure that you choose the right choice of word. Use the good word and put it in the right context. The example that I can remember right now, for example, education and vocational, yeah, there are 2 different words. Or gain and get. We use gain knowledge, but not really get knowledge. Things like that, for example, alright? And the last thing is about mechanics. Also important, if you don't write very obvious wrong of mechanics like spelling, punctuation, and also capitalization. Some of students, they always spell the word wrongly. If you spell it wrong only 1 or 2 times, that should be okay. But if you write the same word and wrong like 4-5 times, like very often, the reader can see like, so many times in USA, so you will definitely lose some marks on that. I think so far it's alright. So, more example that I've jotted down here.